Hey guys, welcome back to EKS Outdoors. And today, let's talk about something very, very important. And that is, what do you do when you're fishing at Dall Hollow? Honestly, everybody fishes differently when they go to Dall Hollow. We're going to have a trip sometime in February. That's when we're going to go. Me, my dad, and my brother. And hopefully by that time I could have some footage for you all instead of having a cameraman. But here are some real quick sorry, let me get the lures real quickly. Lures. Here's a real quick guide on what to use down at Dall Hollow. Now last year, what was great for us was to take a TRD or a small swim bait. Now this right here is a wacky hook, but we'll take it, we'll rig it. You take a wacky hook, a weedless wacky hook, and you put a small 2.8 Kitech or 3-inch ripper style swim bait on the back of it, or the TRD, and we'd go out in like 30 foot of water along the grass beds or grass lines, and we'd cast out. And it's boring. You wait. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 30, and then after you let it sink, you barely pick it up. And we were using swim baits and the TRD, so these work. But what really shined for me was swim baits. Now this is a Guggen one. It's a little bit too big. That's a 3.3. Here we got a 2.8 Kitech right here. But we were using the 2.8 Kitechs, and this right here was money last year. And this is what smallmouth were eating on. They were eating on this blue and chartreuse little tiny Kitech swim bait. Why were they eating on it? Well, it looks like shad, and it's kind of bright. It's kind of a bright lure. Here. See, you got the blue, you got the chartreuse. And this right here, I don't know what it was, but smallmouth went crazy. Paired up with this little tiny jig head, we would throw it out there, we'd slowly retrieve it, or we could swim it back. And we were using 6-pound and 8-pound fluorocarbon for your line. It's very, very thin line, so you got to watch out. You need a net too. Okay, let's move on real quickly. And right here is a Berkeley, what is it? Lightning rod. And it is good for the smallmouth because this one has a lot of backbone, medium, heavy back. You need a lot of backbone. And for those smallmouth, they were ripping the drag out of the reel. It's pretty fun, but boy, do they like to rip the drag out. Anyway, let's move on from the Ned rig and all the stuff and all the swim baits and TRDs, because that's not the main point of the video. The main point of this video is to really talk about a new technique I'm going to try. I'm going to throw a drop shot. Now, I've only picked it up this year, late fall, and it's been working phenomenal. It has caught me multiple fish, multiple good-sized bass, and I even caught a bluegill off of it, and I don't know how, but I was using that. Okay, here's the rod. So I'm going to throw this this ain't a TRD minnow, I think, but I'm going to try the drop shot this year, because last year they were only hitting it when we were pulling it up. They were not hitting it on the downfall. They're hitting it when you're ripping it up out of the grass beds, because we were on the grass line. We wouldn't catch beside of it, or we wouldn't swim a bait over top of it. We'd go in the middle of the grass, and you'd pop it in. That swim bait goes down, you pop it out, and then that's when they'd hit it. And we would have about a foot 10 inches to a foot before that lure. We'd have to pop it up about a foot before the bass would come up and eat it. So this year, I'm going to use the drop shot because I have about a foot line. I know I don't have it rigged properly, but I'm going to try a few different lures. Just a few. Not a lot, just a few. But I've heard that this works very, very well in smallmouth lakes. And Dall Hollow is a largemouth and smallmouth lake, mainly for smallmouth. Mainly. But who knows if I can catch anything. But for as far as baits go, here's a simple one. It's a TRD minnow. You know, we have it in blue pearl glimmer. Basically, looks like a shad. That's what it looks like. Nothing special, just a shad. Then we got the dill. Now this right here was at a small lake in a place called Flemingsburg. We went over to the reservoir and I was throwing this a little bit. And this is called the dill. It's, you know, a gray top, blue pearl bottom, looks and mimics a minnow or a shad. And honestly, I love it. It caught a lot of fish off of it. And I switched to PB&J once it hit night. We were fishing night too. And man, was it phenomenal. Now we're going to move on to two lures I've not thrown, but I've heard are smallmouth catching machines. One's a robo worm. No, three lures. The robo worm, I have it in my rod locker. I'm not going to go get it because I forgot about it. I just now remembered. But first off is the Guggen Dragon Drop. Obviously, it's in that same blue pearl color, whatever it's called. This is called Murky Minnow. Basically a shad pattern. So your shad patterns work very well at Dall Hollow, I've heard. It's very clear lake, but look at this. The reason why I got this lure is, you got this big meaty head right here, kind of tapers down, then you got a big bulbous tail. And it's really good for squirrel tailing, and it's good for smallmouth. Plus it has a lot of scent. The Nets lure has a little bit more scent and smells like something died. But that right there, I've heard is very, very well. Works at Dall Hollow. But we speak to a guy that owns a bait shop, probably one of the best bait shops ever. It's in Flemingsburg, called Bypass Tackle. If you live around the Flemingsburg, Kentucky area, that's a long drive from where I'm at, but if you head there, let me just tell you something. He has Guggen, Z-Man, I mean, he has everything. Shrike Kings, Reaction Innovations, he has almost anything you can think of. And he carries these, and he told us to use these, and these were sold out when we went there. We got the last pack, but they said that people were buying this up, but for a different reason. You know, you want to know what that reason was? That ain't a bluegill. It don't mimic a bluegill. It don't mimic a shad. What does it mimic? Well, it mimics a goby. And man, this thing stinks. Got that real nice scent to it. It mimics the goby. Now, what is a goby? It's a little tiny, weird-looking fish. Got a big head. It has a big, like, chompers on it. Tapers down. Got like a catfish tail. I mean, they look weird. But they were saying that these were very, very good for smallmouth. And paired with a drop shot, you can't go wrong. So we are going to try this out. It's a goby style lure. But if y'all are heading to Dall Hollow, remember that you need to stay safe, fish the grass beds, and try to go there, you know, December, January, and February. That's when the smallmouth are really, really, like, hard-hitting. They're active. They like cold water. Now, largemouth, go May, March, May, April, then get into fall, smallmouth pick up again. So your hotter months, you go for largemouth. Your colder months, you go for your smallmouth at Dall Hollow. And remember, try the Ned rig with a TRD or a Ripper style lure. And this right here is going to be experimental. Hopefully you guys get to see it. I don't know if I'll get a GoPro by that time, but let me just tell you all something. You all need to subscribe, because if you guys don't subscribe, hit the bell icon and hit a like, you all will not know when I release the Dall Hollow video. I might have a 4-hour video. I might have a 20-minute video. It just depends. If you all like and subscribe, you all might see it sooner. Just a thought. But this is EKS Outdoors signing off, and see you all later.